Salutations everyone, this is Razor13 and today I'm not going to be talking about the gameplay even though it is pretty snazzy, but I just decided to give a little off-color commentary a shot, not talking about Call of Duty for once, so just gonna go give it a go, and if you guys like it, be sure to let me know. Rhyme intended. So I want to talk about you know is the cup half full or is it half empty? People often like to talk about this as if it's a qualifier of how you view the world or not. Because I'm a pessimist. I'm going to be completely honest. I am one. And when people say, are you the kind of person who sees a glass half full or you see it as half empty? And the way that you see it is supposed to say something about you. And some people will say it's empty, some people will say it's full, and they'll equate that to either are you being a positive or a negative. Are you a positive person or a negative? Because positive people like to see what is there. They like to see the bright side of things, while negative people see what isn't there. So they would say it's empty, while a positive person will say it's full. And they'll focus on what is or what is not based off of what they say, if it's full or empty. But I'm here to debunk this stupid saying in our culture on glass half full or half empty, what that says about you, kind of a thing. Because the metaphor, it doesn't hold to any sense. Okay, some will say it's half full and say some it's half empty. I'm not going to say which is the right or wrong answer, and some people will think they're clever and say, oh, the glass is 50% capacity. Take that as you will, and try to be mathematical about it. But no one talks like that. No one says, I'll take only fill that 50%, or that glass is 50% something. I'm just going to say, if the glass is half full or half empty, it depends on the context, because while I am a pessimist, I say both. The glass is half full or half empty. It honestly depends on what is happening to this glass. That's typically the illusion, right? It's a glass. It's full of liquid. We'll just, for argument's sense, let's say it's completely 50% of that liquid is filled with the container. So I'm going to tell you, it matters on the context. Are you pouring liquid into it, or are you emptying it out? Are you drinking it? Because it depends on the action. Okay, if you are pouring the glass and it hits 50%, that glass is half full. But if you are drinking that glass and it hits that half mark, it's half empty. And I'll tell you why. If you're pouring a glass and someone says, oh, how's that going? It's like, oh, it's already half full as you're pouring it. If you said it's already half empty as you're pouring it, that makes no logical sense in your sentence structure. But if you're drinking it and saying, oh, look at this, it's already half empty, saying that it's already half full as you're drinking it doesn't make sense, because you're not adding to it, you are taking away from it. So that whole saying is completely stupid, because it's the context that matters, and it doesn't prove anything of whether you say it's half full or it's half empty. And then someone's gonna think they're clever and say, well, what's it half full of? Because it's always going to be half full of liquid and half full of air. There's something in it. There's no ether, and that is true. It is always going to be half full of liquid and air, and it's not going to be half empty of something. But that's not really how we talk, we're always filling something up or emptying it. We don't really care about what gas it's replacing or anything. But I want to get back to the point of being a optimist or a pessimist. And I'm totally honest with myself in that I am a pessimist. A big surprise, Racer, you always hating on Modern Warfare 3. Of course you're a pessimist, but I love Black Ops. But I'm honest with myself, and I say I'm a pessimist, and a lot of people like to think that being a pessimist is a bad thing and optimist is a good thing, which is easy to see. But let's clear up some confusion here on what a pessimist actually is. You know, a pessimist is a person who will habitually see or anticipate the worst, or is, you know, deposed of seeing the negative. You know, and some pessimist people will try to defend themselves because they often get attacked because they're pessimists, and they'll say that they're realists, and you know, because they'll look on the negative side of things, and they'll say they're being realistic because usually they're going to be right, because you know, the world kind of sucks. You know, if you take a look at all the, you know, the bad things and just the reality of everything, there's going to be a lot of failure, a lot more failure than success, and that's just reality. You can't argue that. But optimists will try to say that, you know, everything is good if 1 out of 1,000,000 times, you know, is right. That will qualify it, even if they're wrong 99% of the time. That one time that they are right still makes everything good, and that's fine and dandy and all. But you know, I'm here to say that, you know, pessimism doesn't make someone, you know, gloomy or, you know, negative or anything. It's just, you know, one of those other traits. And while I am a pessimist, I'm not a cynic. You know, a cynic is a person who believes that only selfishness motivates human actions and disbelieves or minimizes any selfish acts or disinterested points of view. Yeah, that's not me. You know, I am a pessimist, but I'm not a cynic. There's still things that I attribute value to, and there's still things that I, you know, believe in to be true. But you know, that doesn't change the fact that I'm a pessimist, and you know, I do have a habit of seeing, um, you know, anticipating bad things to happen. You know, whether or not those are more likely to happen or not, those are usually the thing that I'll go to. You know, pessimists aren't 100% negative all the time. That's just what a habitual act that they tend to have. And optimistic people will be the same. They'll more tends toward seeing the bright side of things or anticipate something going right. But that doesn't mean sometimes they'll be like, nah, I'm gonna be realistic here for a second. That's not gonna happen. And being a pessimist or an optimist, it doesn't really matter. One doesn't make you better than another, or right or wrong, or gloomy or cheerful. It's just another trait that I encourage everyone to be honest about with themselves. You know, because you know, honesty I think is always the best thing, and whether you're pessimist or optimist doesn't really matter. And the glass is, whether you think it's half full or not, it depends on context. So let's just throw that out the window and let you see the world the way you want to see it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.